talking today to Doron Ben Sira, who is the CEO of SkyVision. Doron, you just made an acquisition of a company called Afinis. Tell me about that.
So first, thank you very much for your time and very happy to see you again. Yeah, we just announced last week that we acquired the West African part of Afinis from Monaco Telecom International, subsidiary of Cable and Wireless. It's fall into our strategy very nicely in terms of having a strong local presence into the Francophone West African countries. So one of the reasons that we looked at Afinis is really their countries where they operate. Second, we are getting a lot of local employees, a mix of salespeople, pre-sales, and engineers, field engineers in those countries. Second, they are bringing a lot of expertise within the value added and the system integration part of it. While they were similar to us in terms of services, cellular backhauling and VSAT, they had quite a long years of expertise into adding values to those kind of contracts. And third reason is that they were actually working direct to end user, and we are actually buying and getting contracts with more than 150 customers, which we liked a lot.
Which include what categories of people? What type of companies are?
So I would say the main four verticals that were very busy in is first oil and gas, second telcos, some very nice government projects, banks, and mining. I would say those are the verticals that we were very interested to begin with, and those contracts that they are having is very much fit into our strategy.
Last time I saw you in November, you were talking about the things you were putting in place in order to get the curve of turnover and profit back up again. That's beginning to happen.
Yes.
Tell me what's happened since I last saw you in November.
So I think the strategy that we put together, which I will maybe say a couple of words again about it, is really falling into places, and we see the results very nicely within the last 6-7 months. First, expansions of geographics. So we went very aggressively into many countries that we were not active before. South Sudan was a good example. The French-speaking countries within West Africa, even before the acquisition of Afinis, Somalia and others. We also opened, after a big research and a big investment, SkyVision South Africa, which we were not active at all.
And that's a joint venture with?
This is a joint venture with a company called CMC.
That has
a fiber network within all Africa and the Middle East, with about 40 plus POPs in the different capitals. And this is again a geographic that we were not there at all. So first was a big expansion in terms of geographic. Second was a big change in terms of the weight of trunking versus VSAT and cellular backhauling. So we put a lot of efforts, expertise, knowledge, marketing tools and so on into VSAT and into cellular backhauling, and the percentage of those activities grew very nicely. And third, I would say the third was verticalization. I would say 60-70% of the business previously in 2010 and backwards was in the telcos market. Today it's a very nice split between governments, projects, NGOs, oil and gas, mining, corporates in general. So this was a big change in terms of vertical markets. And the fourth one was changing from an indirect or adding a lot of activities towards the end customer himself, and be able to add all kind of value-added services and system integration capabilities that we were avoid doing in the past because of working in a very indirect manner. So when we start to work with end user, of course, we add all those capabilities and we add all those services into our portfolio. All this together with also a very dive look into our expense structure, the way we work with different satellites companies, the way we are structure our internal cost processes and so on, end up very nicely within this fiscal year.
And in terms of satellite prices themselves, buying obviously satellite capacity, are you seeing much movement downwards in satellite prices?
Unfortunately not. Unfortunately, we are still, I would say, in very general, paying more or less the same prices to the satellites company, maybe 5%. What we did is diversify significantly the amount of companies that we work with and negotiate maybe a little bit better. If in the past we worked with 2 to 3 satellites companies, we work together with more than 10. Between KU and C-band, we are extended significantly the amount of sources that we are buying from. And we also, I think, the practice of buying when we need and not when satellite capacity is available also change our cost structure in a very nice way. And today we are spending a lot of time into resourcing capacity when we have big contracts in hands and not resourcing when there is availability of capacity.
So you have better take-up?
Yes,
yeah.
I would say very much so.
And are you looking at other geographies outside of Africa?
Yes. So while we still believe that the African market is huge and there is a lot of potential in cellular backhaul, VSAT, and even within the trunking business, we start to look and we start to even to win some contract in South America. We looked at and we start to make some moves into East Europe, where we anyway have coverage with the satellites that we are having in East Europe. So I would say those are the 2 markets that we looked at, or we started to look at, but still Middle East and Africa will continue to be our major focus areas.
Doron, thanks for talking to me today.
Thank you very much for your time.